It's late on Tuesday night, but we are awake on TCM as we dig even deeper into out-of-this-world science fiction films from the 1960s. And let's go over to England for our next one. From 1967, produced by the legendary Hammer Studios, it's 5 Million Years to Earth, or Quatermass and the Pit, as it was called in England. This was the third film in the Quatermass franchise, named after the main character, Professor Quatermass, a scientist who specializes in rockets and outer space. He was the invention of writer Nigel Kneale, who originally created him for a BBC television serial in the early 1950s. The show was a hit, so in 1955, Hammer Studios decided to make a film version. The Quatermass experiment came out in 1955 and was the highest-grossing film Hammer had up until that point. So in 1957 came Quatermass 2. At that same time, Hammer bought the rights to the story for this third film, but ended up waiting a decade to actually make it. Here, Quatermass is played by Scottish actor Andrew Keir, who took over the role from Brian Donlevy. In this entry, Professor Quatermass is called to give his opinion on some ancient bones which are found in the London Underground, right next to an alien spaceship. And that leads to demons, hallucinations, and locusts. It's a wild ride. From 1967, also starring Barbara Shelley and James Donald, this is 5 Million Years to Earth. 5 Million Years to Earth was directed by Roy Ward Baker, a British filmmaker who made several impressive films in the 1940s and 50s, like The October Man and A Night to Remember, about the sinking of the Titanic. But by the 1960s, he wasn't getting as many film opportunities, so he was mainly working in television, directing episodes of The Avengers and The Saint. So when he got the call from Hammer Studios, he jumped at the chance because he hadn't made a film since Two Left Feet, the 1965 British comedy drama. The character of Quatermass was very popular, and his creator Nigel Kneale chalked the success down to a focus on story over special effects. The stories were told through the characters and action, he said. That is one area where an awful lot of science fiction stuff collapses. All too often, expensive films rely on special effects, and that is why we have this increasingly dry, hugely expensive stuff coming out of Hollywood. Well, up next, we have a film from Hollywood that doesn't really have spectacular special effects, but it does have an exciting story and Oscar winners Gregory Peck, Lee Grant, and Gene Hackman. Stay with us.